Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian talk, and today we're going to be doing a full review of Luck by Chance, the film that you guys selected in the poll that we put up last week. Won by a slim margin, barely beat DeBang, so I think the Salman Khan crew came out in force.
What made me feel good is that our audience is broader than Salman Khan now.
Yes.
That our audience actually wanted us to watch a good film, and I don't know about you, but I thought this was a great film. Zoya is becoming... She's like right there with Anurag for me now. Like, because I've seen 3 or 4 of her films now, 4 I think, and they're all fucking good.
Yeah.
I mean, like, this one's her best one in my opinion.
Gully Boy, right?
Gully Boy,
I haven't seen
one.
Gully Boy. All I've seen is the Zindagi.
And then this one, so 3.
That's the long name.
Yeah.
Movie.
Zindagi, Malegi, Dobrara.
Yeah, I got to read it. Yeah.
I don't even. I'm just literally picking words that I know that are in the title. But before we get started, I'm going to say this from all reviews going forward. If you haven't seen this movie in a long time, I implore you to check it out. Not because I like it or you like it, but because in this particular case, I think we both like the movie.
Yeah.
But in some other reviews, we might be harsh on them. But I think a lot of the audience might not have seen them since the movie came out or whatever. And I just want to preface that.
Yeah, sometimes you forget, like you remember something you watched 10 years ago, and then when you watch it again, you're like, oh, this wasn't as great as I thought it was. Or sometimes it's better.
Right. Sometimes it holds up.
Because you grow up. Sometimes you grow up. Like you watched it when you were a kid, so you didn't really understand it. You watch it again as an adult, it improves. Sometimes you watch it as a kid, you think it's great. You watch it again as an adult.
So that's something that's going to be standard for all reviews going forward. That's the preface. If you haven't seen it in a while, check it out. Watch the review.
Right.
And because understand, we watched this film for the very first time.
Oh, it's
now.
fresh. It's fresh in our...
But let's get into the movie. Like, first things first. What did you think about
the opening Harvey Weinstein scene?
We'll get into that in a second.
Okay.
We'll get into that in a second because I do want to talk about that. But no, just the overall idea of this type of film. Like, we've seen versions like this for American cinema, but...
You know, it reminded me, it was like a 2.5 hour long episode of Entourage without the comedy. You know, but it was like that, kind of like an episode of Entourage where you're seeing this meta kind of movie within a movie type deal where we're seeing that the way the industry supposedly works.
Yeah, so what did you feel about it? Did you like that?
I mean, honestly, if that's how the Indian industry works, it's not that much different than what's going on here at all.
I don't think it's 1-to-1.
No, obviously there's things that are different, and I mean part of that is just
no, I don't mean like that. I think if we went to India, I don't think it's going to be like just like that. But I think
obviously not. But what I'm saying, but even the stuff that we see, like the Coen Brothers film that takes place in the '60s, you know, like I highly doubt Hollywood was exactly.
Oh no,
like
no, I'm not even saying it like that. I'm saying, but as filmmakers, we can infer, that it's not 1-to-1 real, but we can understand. It's just like the general public, I'm sure, does as well.
Right.
But, you know, we can say because like
they don't want to get sued, so that's part of it.
But I mean, the cameos were great.
Yes.
Like every single one of them worked. They were not on the nose. There was no. I mean,
although we had that one section where there was a bunch of actors that are supposed to be stars that I have no idea who they are.
A few of them. I know
there was a couple.
Ranbir Kapoor.
There was a couple faces I knew, like John Abraham, Ranbir Kapoor, but then there was a couple other guys where I was like, who are these guys?
Abhishek Bachchan was there.
Was he one of them? See, I had no.
No, I know, and it's not. Yeah. But this is definitely a film that we can definitely revisit in a few years.
Yes, after we're familiar with.
And we're like, because I feel like it's definitely layered, but it's just the way the movie was done. I mean, just to talk on the cameos for a second. I mean, the way Amir Khan, like his first when he shows up, I wasn't expecting that, and that was great. And even Shah Rukh at the end was also great.
Right.
Because his role was actually, I don't know, they just worked. Because he gave great advice, but it wasn't...
His cameo was probably the best one out of all of them because it meant something.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
And it meant something to the actual story itself.
Well, the same thing with Hrithik Roshan. His thing was
that
pivotal to the whole movie.
That wasn't a cameo, though. That was a guest star. Like, he was on screen for a while. And he wasn't playing himself either. He was...
the con guy.
Exactly.
Which was great. I love that scene when he's fucking talking into the mirror and he's like... I'm playing this, like, that guy's a person in of itself.
Right.
Like, he is a person. Like, I have to negotiate with him or whatever he was saying. And then, like, the manager or the producer guy was talking to him in the mirror.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
I just love that whole dynamic. And I just like...
This is a great scene.
I liked the whole story, too. That we weren't following one of the big stars. we were following that people you and I might know.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
we were following a guy who's about to break out and become a superstar.
he wasn't about to break out.
No, he wasn't going to anything. Luck.
Nothing was.
Luck by chance is really what it comes as a series of events.
Perfect fucking title.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's the whole him in this acting class, which we know people do here. You know, where some guy like. The guy that spoke at their commencement was like said one line in one famous movie that came out in the 70s.
The Cholet.
And everyone was all excited about the one line that he said, you know, which that was hilarious. Like that.
And even the acting instructor was like, Hollywood actors, they do the drama right or whatever. But
yes.
Bollywood actors, we act, we sing, we dance, we do this, and this. Which I feel like was another jab at like Hindi cinema, because there is truth in that without a shadow of a doubt, but there's more than just that as the film explores.
I mean, was it a jab though, or was it inadvertent? That's the other thing. It might have been inadvertent.
Oh no, I think that's a real concept that people believe in, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that's why it was in there.
Right.
The movie's so meta, as you said, that it was clearly written that way for a reason.
Right.
Because I'm sure acting teachers say that, but that doesn't necessarily mean everything, you know? Maybe you don't want to, and the reason why I say that is because the whole arc for the girl is she was willing to be a working actress, and she accepted the fact that she wasn't going to be a superstar.
Yeah.
By the end of the movie. And she even says, like, I'm happy to be making money doing what I love, even though I might not make it to the top.
Right.
Which goes to show you.
Because she's talking about how like her parents tried to marry her away and she ran away instead. Like she didn't want that life. She wanted to act, and she was willing.
But that's what I'm saying.
To suck some half. Like,
but it goes against what the right.
Yeah.
But it goes against what that acting instructor said, that stars are everything. This is what you got to do to act, and it's like
right.
No.
But he also said the luck part, and he did mention the nepotism part that was involved,
which is hilarious too.
Well.
They comment on that, like it's gonna be played by the director's brother. Like that director was hilarious too, with the fucking with the cowboy hat, like kind of like a Robert Rodriguez type. And just making up some weird shit, and then the cinematographer's like, yeah, okay, and then you actually see Anurag like writing all the dialogues. He's playing a different character.
Yeah.
Like Kashyap's there. And when he's talking about cinema, like you can tell that this guy actually knows what he's talking about. Which
right.
I thought those scenes were great with Anurag.
Oh, I mean, there's all kinds of great scenes like when they're talking to each other, and then the second they leave the room, they start talking shit about each other. Like it was just everybody taking shots at everybody all the way around the.
But it was still mild though.
Yeah. No. What? Yeah.
No, not in a bad way.
No.
It was digestible.
Yes.
Like you could. You understood.
It was light. It was light, where
but not shallow.
No, exactly.
It was light, but not shallow.
It was enough where you didn't get caught up in it. Like, but it was definitely, it was like character building, if anything.
Which
like,
is good.
Like little things, like all the wives were like basically talking shit to each other and around each other. You know that the guy's wife is the one who put the dude's photos out there.
Right. I mean, there's that. There's commentary on the dresses, like at the very beginning.
Yeah.
When the girl was wearing that like small ass dress, and then they talk about costume budgets, and because the wife wanted more. Like, it's just there's just so many little moments like that I genuinely I fucking love.
Like the older diva actress trying to throw her weight around still and not getting it until she brought the money in.
But even her, at the very end, when after all of the drama that went down with the tabloid article and everything.
Right.
And she tells her daughter, like, call him.
Yeah.
Give him a call. And she's like, what the fuck? After all this shit, you're going to want me to call him? And then
she drops the bomb.
Like, you don't understand. I had to fuck somebody at 16 because my mom told me to. Like, of course. And then you're like...
And you didn't have to, you privileged bitch, was basically what it was.
Yeah, but it's fucking real. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like, who that's based on or, like, what that's based... But I'm sure that's fucking gone down. Yeah. But it's so much weight in exposition dialogue.
Right.
Sometimes exposition doesn't work. Because show don't tell is more powerful.
Absolutely. But the good thing about that whole little section was she didn't go on a half-hour diatribe about it. It was short and to the point.
She knew exactly what she needed to say to shut her the fuck up.
And she said it like great. Like we don't even have to go down this road. I'm just gonna tell you exactly what happened.
You're privileged, bitch.
I slept with some fucking older creepy dude when I was 16 to do this. You didn't have to. Now shut the fuck up and call him. You know. That's that. It's business. Now from this point on, it's business. Even though, like in reality, all he did was like cheat on his girlfriend. Really, all the stuff they were making up in the tabloids was bullshit.
We don't even know if he cheated technically.
Yeah, well, because we never saw them.
We just assume we're inferring.
Exactly, and then
and which is actually, I'm so glad that they didn't go there. Not to cut you off, because I was like, are they gonna fucking? I didn't even cheat on her. And then they flash back to like he didn't do anything and make her like. I'm glad that they didn't really touch on it
because it wasn't important.
Yeah, you're talking about. It's dramatic sometimes, where
right?
They just go places for this, and so at no point did the story supersede the theme of the story, which
right?
Is, this is Bollywood,
right? Exactly,
or Hindi cinema, as like the mom said.
And this is one of those like where the arcs weren't as important as
but they were still there.
They were still there. There was definitely some arcs there, but they weren't like these huge like people didn't really change from beginning to end as much as they would now. It just like it was more about the world. It was this is what you like to call a character study, but for me it was it
was theme.
A lot of times character studies can be a little pretentious, and this did not come off as pretentious. You know, this was still mainstream, very digestible for the masses to get into it. And I don't know. It was I enjoyed it. I had a good time.
I enjoyed the music, the songs, because
they would fit. They weren't random like. They
did fit 100%. Yeah. Like I fucking loved it. I mean, really, this is a DVD that belongs on the collection. Like if this is the first Indian movie we watched, it would be we wouldn't like it. But it's like one of those movies where you do have to have some context.
Yes.
And I think being filmmakers ourselves helps a lot.
Yes.
You know what the movie made me like really think and reflect on? How we're kind of like the daughter. How we're kind of privileged and shit. Because I've worked on the Sony studio a lot. You've worked on studio lots too. And then you see the studio lots that they show in the film, right?
Yeah.
Now obviously this film is a little bit older, so I don't know what those studios look like now in 2019.
Right.
But at least back then, like, if you were to take those people and bring them over to the Sony lot, it's like fucking night and day.
Yeah.
Like, you see just the way the rooms are and things like that, and it's just like, wow. It made me realize this. It's no wonder why the technology is, like, just starting to catch up to India and stuff, because now it's to the point where it's so cheap where they can have a movie like 2.0 and things like that. Regardless if I liked it or not, that's not my point. It's the idea.
Or like the other one that you didn't like.
KGF?
Where they built those lots.
Oh, Kalank?
Yeah.
Well, that's the old school style. That's what I'm saying. They put so much time in costume, into performance, because that's relatively inexpensive to do, right? But they put a lot of effort into that. Like I already mentioned, the song, the dance, the fucking music. Like, but those are like 10. Like, and people are going to give me shit in the comments, but I'm going to use contextual evidence for what I'm about to say in a second. They continued the Hollywood musical, and they took that torch and they went with it, and they exceeded
they kind of continued the studio system is really what it was.
Yeah.
You know, where you sign,
and that's not a negative.
You sign an actor to a deal and they do all the pictures through you. Like, that doesn't exist here anymore. You don't, there was a time where an actor belonged to one studio and only made pictures for that studio. We don't see that anymore.
And it'll
never be that way ever again.
And it won't exist that way in India,
right.
And it'll change too, because the internet is really what changes that.
Right.
And once stars realize that, oh no, wait, I don't need to work with T-Series or whatever. I can do Amir Khan films or whatever. I can do that'll change. But my contextual evidence is that one of the producers even says, like, we're gonna make this into a Broadway, like a Hollywood Broadway production or something.
Yeah.
Like, so they know too.
They well, you also had that scene where the investors show up and they're like, we're trying to do more Hollywood style production.
Property.
Yeah, so the property means more to us than the actors involved.
Which is language that you and I are 100% familiar with. Like, when I heard that, I'm like, oh, these guys are from Hollywood. Or, like, right off the bat, I already knew that. Was there any negatives you had?
There was a few, like, little minor stuff, just story-wise. Sona's story was a little unbalanced at times.
I think because the guy,
because the producer part wasn't really explored all that. It was revisited every so often, but just different stuff. Like, yeah, she was sleeping with this guy to get ahead, but the second Vikram came around, she was like, oh, hey, fuck this guy. Yeah, let's just screw this guy too. Like, which is.
Do you think she was sleeping her way to the top?
Actually, I think that's what that whole conversation that happened at the beginning. She tells him, she says, yeah, he's married. She mentions that he's married, so that she has some sort of relationship with the guy as a side piece, and she knows this.
Well, no. Do you think she was with Vikram to get ahead?
No, No, I think that was like a genuine, and I think Vikram like liked her as well. Like that was just it just happened. Everything that happened to him was by.
And that's the thing. I don't even fault Vikram for doing what he did.
No, absolutely not. That chick's a smoke show.
And that's why I love the fucking movie,
Yeah.
because the movie even says that. Like when he goes and yells at her and like, what the fuck, bitch, you went and exposed me, like you did all this shit, what? And then you find out that like she didn't do any of that. It was just this fucking reporter dude who's a dick.
Well, who got sent to do it too?
No, I understand, but I'm like they added that part in there too. So like it made it real,
right?
And because it's like, yeah, everyone should do the right thing, but
there's snakes in the grass everywhere.
You don't know what it's like until you're actually there.
You know, I don't know his name. I know his last name's Kapoor, but the guy that plays the producer, you know, Raleigh, the guy that plays Raleigh,
yeah,
with the fucking shitty wig. He's bullshitting the entire time, trying to take credit for everybody else's. You know,
he's hilarious.
Yeah, he was. It was funny. It was funny, but he was the one trying to talk him out of like this guy doesn't fit the standard Bollywood hero. Like, what about this other tall,
the fucking handsome guy?
Yeah,
I loved how he put it in his mind.
Yeah,
absolutely. Super confident.
Yeah, which was an underhanded move in itself as well. Like, yeah, there's all kinds of shady stuff. But yeah, that was kind of like, I guess. At the time when I watched it, it kind of bothered me that Vikram was like, "Hey, do you have a girlfriend?" And didn't think twice. Nope, sure don't. Let's do it.
I don't know. That didn't bother me at all.
You know, it kind of bothered me because then at the end he tried to, and what she calls him and tells him that everything he's doing is because it's out of selfishness when he's trying to apologize. You know what I mean? Like that whole thing. She's like, "This is all about you."
But it's in the moment though. That's why it didn't piss me off. It was in the... He literally has the star in his room, on his bed.
Absolutely.
Clearly
that's
wanting the dick.
That's not the issue with it, but I just felt like there was points there where they were trying to turn it into like he felt...
Oh, I mean, they turned it into a movie at some points.
Yeah.
When she literally shows up at the end, like...
Right, and we talked about that on the phone. Like that was so... It just seems to be a reoccurring theme where like your girlfriend shows up unexpectedly all the time.
Or wife or anybody.
Yeah, because that has never happened to me.
It is not appropriate.
Yeah.
I don't care what anyone says. I don't care how cute it is. If you're a fucking wife or husband too, it goes both ways. If your wife is on vacation with her girlfriends or out to work, you do not show up unexpectedly.
No, you don't. I mean, yeah.
And you don't have her show up.
You don't show up at my office unexpectedly.
That doesn't mean you're doing anything bad.
No.
That doesn't mean anything. It's just that's your time. If you're like, hey, can I come over?
Yeah, that's a
hey,
different
can
story.
I stay up at your set?
Yeah.
Can I like?
Hey, can I come and visit you? But
he's
working. He was working. Who knows what happened? You know, and he should have been maybe a little bit more upfront with her, or he should have told the other girl, who's obviously she was ready to have a go at it, you know, and then her ass like. I don't know. There was there was a lot of hypocrisy, and it felt right. It fit the movie. But there was just little moments that were uneven for me, especially the end of the film where you know I felt like I know we started with Sona and we ended with Sona. I don't think we had to end with Sona. You know, the whole interview and that she's living her life because I feel like it was like trying to add a moral to the story kind of.
But I think there is one. I think it completes the theme. That's why I say
I would have liked it better to end with Vikram than her because we spent so much time. But it's not Vikram's story.
He won. He succeeded. He has the life he wants.
I mean, it's all together. We didn't get enough of her for me to care. I guess that's part of it.
I won't disagree with.
Yeah, we needed a little more of her to care, and then other elements like the jealous friend from school. Like I was confused about the relationship in the first place. From It seemed like he was at his buddy's house, and then the buddy's roommate shows up, and he's like, "Why is this guy here?" And then you find out later.
Those are foil characters, in my opinion. Those are characters just put in there to like either elevate the stakes a little bit or plant an idea in our main character's mind to go do something.
Right,
else.
but for me, those moments kind of failed. Like they just seemed unnecessary. You know, like I guess.
I think this movie could have been longer. And I wouldn't have complained.
I'm not even talking about the length. I'm just saying there was little stuff like that was thrown in that didn't really fit.
Yeah, sure. And they maybe could have been left on the cutting room. And there's arguments back and forth.
You know, I mean, like I get the grandfather clock thing made sense, but that's the other thing.
It never came back. I thought they were going to break the clock or something.
Yeah, the relationship with the aunt wasn't like there was just little things like that were.
Well, what would you put a rating on this film?
I'd probably give it like a high 7, low 8. You know, I enjoyed it. For me, but there's definitely it's not a movie I'd watch again.
Oh, I'm the opposite end. I'm a 9.5 in that range. I actually can't wait to rewatch this again, but I'm not going to until a few more years go by. Like I definitely want to revisit this movie. I just think the movie was well done. It was well acted. There was never any moments where I felt
Well,
like
see,
it was
that's
over
the thing,
the
and
top.
that's one of the things is the Vikram guy. I don't think he's a good actor. I think he's an okay actor, but
I thought I believed him in that role though. If you look at him compared to Zindagi,
he didn't do
same.
he didn't do anything to make me believe like this guy's gonna be a star. The stuff that he did.
That's the whole point, in my opinion. Not to reopen this conversation, but I think that's the entire point.
That
He was never going to be the star if he didn't talk to Homegirl's wife,
right,
and literally drop that comment about how my mom says, you're the most beautiful.
you're the
girl in
reason
room,
why I exist,
and that you're the most beautiful girl in the room, and I still think you are. And she has that like, oh, whatever, and then that's it. That's but that's the way the industry works too.
right?
Nepotism in Hollywood, nepotism and fucking luck. So like I think that because the guy who auditioned, who was too confident or whatever, he was the one who was going to get the role.
Right.
That's my
that is the guy who would have got the role normally.
No, I'm saying you're right, but I don't think that's a negative.
But I see it more as like once this guy gets in front of like the big audiences, I don't think he's gonna go.
But it's a movie. It's
yeah,
a fairy tale.
I know it's a movie, but
and it was only one.
And the key thing is, right? We don't know the rest of his career, but the key thing is they kept on pushing that he was like a really like accomplished actor, like he knew, like he had the skills and was gonna be a great actor. And just performance-wise, I never felt that he was a great actor.
My one counter to that is we never saw any footage of him actually acting.
Right.
In the film, we've only saw him be himself, quote unquote, in the movie. We never saw him like a scene from the movie other than the dance scenes, which you and I both know does not constitute acting in our opinion.
Right.
Like it's a part of acting, but that's not what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Here. When we're talking about acting, we mean theatrical, dramatic acting or comedic acting, whatever, not song and dance, and that's all we saw. So it's like, to be fair, we never saw his like a scene from that movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's also ironic that the movie's about nepotism and he's the director's brother. Just saying.
Fair enough. But
overall, I'm really appreciative of Action D&T. He's the one who brought this film to our attention.
Yeah.
Probably would have got to it eventually, not to take anything away from you,
well,
D&T.
we wouldn't have done that. We wouldn't have done the trailer when we did.
Because I like Zoya, but Zindagi impressed me. Like I already said, she is up. She's my favorite female Indian director, bar none. And she's right up there with Kashyap. Kashyap's obviously doing way more extreme, gritty films.
Right.
And she's doing a little bit more lighthearted, but still serious.
This is only the second film of hers I've seen, so I'm and they seem to both be very mainstream.
Yeah, but they're grounded though. Yeah. They're like the acceptable mainstream.
Yeah, no, which is fine. I think that's it. That's gonna do it for us, guys. Thanks for watching. Smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. Ring the bell if you are. Thanks for sticking around with us, and we will see you next time.